Hi everyone, this is Noelle from Petitti Garden Centers, and we're actually at Casa Verde, and I'm surrounded by SunPatiens. So we're gonna do a spotlight on SunPatiens, and you may or may not have heard of SunPatiens before, but they really are incredible annual flowers, and they are an impatient hybrid. So you're familiar with bedding impatiens, smaller flower. Well, these are actually a type of New Guinea impatient. So they're going to have a much larger flower, usually about 3 times the size of your standard bedding impatient. Now, what the most incredible thing about SunPatiens is their tolerance for any light exposure. So we're talking full shade, 4 hours or less of sun, part shade, 4 to 6 hours of sun, or full sun, so 6 or more hours of direct sunlight. So these annuals can go anywhere. They can go on the porch, shady porch. They can go out in a sunny flower garden, wherever you want to place them to get beautiful, wonderful color. So light exposure, easy. It takes really anything. Now, as far as watering is concerned, they are like a typical impatient where they do really like average moisture. Of course, you will see them wilt when they get dry. So just make sure if you're planting them out in garden beds, again, about 1 inch of watering per week, once a week, deep watering, like we normally say, is perfect for them. If they're planted in containers, that watering would have to be soaking the soil substrate and then going ahead and letting that water drain out, doing that one more time so it's real moist on the soil, and then letting it drain out. And then you kind of have to watch from there. Sunny days, you might have to water daily. Cloudy days, shady, a little bit cooler, maybe every other day. So you just have to keep your eye on it. And as the weather changes, you kind of have to monitor the watering for them, okay? Fertilizer. Now, I'm going to tell you with the fertilizer, they're heavy feeders. They're vigorous growers. They do like to be fed regularly. I shouldn't say heavy, but you can use several different things. If you like liquid fertilizers, you can use something like a Miracle Grow, or you could use an organic liquid food if you want to. Just follow the package directions as far as application. But it's usually with liquids, it's about once every 2 weeks, okay? With a granular food, you can use Osmocote on these, you could use plant tone on these, or flower tone, whichever you prefer, and that would work out fine. Again, according to package directions, with Osmocote, it's usually about 1 application every 2 to 3 months, depending on how much rainfall there is during the summer. With plant tone and flower tone, it might be 1 application once every 1.5 to 2 months. So just check your packaging. If we get a heavy, I should say rainier season during the growing season, then you have to fertilize a little bit more often because of course that rain, and as we water, that moisture can obviously leach the fertilizer or food out of the soil. Potting soil is perfect for them, or a planting mix, so they can tolerate both potting soil in container gardens and letting that freely drain. Planting mix is fine out in the garden. It can also be used in containers as well. So really whatever you prefer, they're pretty easy as far as the soil mixture is concerned. However, just make sure that you're amending soils if you're putting them out into a heavy clay garden. Make sure you're digging that hole, removing the soil, and then mixing it with organic matter. So planting mixes, sweet peat, those types of things. So you know that you have drainage out where you're planting your plants, okay? Other than that, I'm gonna just tell you attributes. So many beautiful colors of the SunPatiens. There are 14, I think we grow 14 different colors. We grow what they call a compact variety, so it stays very dense, mounding habit. And what's really unique about them is they continue to branch, and flower on top of their old flowers. So you really never have to deadhead or disbud or do any trimming on these plants. They just keep on producing and producing and producing. That's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, I always tell you if you can go out there and deadhead and remove, you know, some spent blooms or what have you, just so they don't hang on the foliage, that's fine, because of course whenever you have a little bit of detrital material, that can attract insects or disease or some things like that. But normally these plants really have no issues during the growing season. So enjoy them, again, sun or shade. Now, I did want to tell you, when you look at a SunPatiens flower, they have this very, very long neck behind the flower, and Taylor will show you a close-up. And so that is great for your long-nosed pollinators, okay? So your hummingbirds, your long-tongued bees, all those types of things. So needless to say, great pollinator attractant right here. Lots of different colors for all different pollinators to enjoy. So that's really good, and a lot of deep nectar. Not a lot of pollen, so you might not see as many bees foraging around them, but a really good amount of nectar. So that's really great. I'm gonna say, guys, they're just easy care plants. I'm surrounded obviously by a couple different mixes. I have tropical sunset here, and all of these mixtures have 3 different colors to them, but beautiful combinations. This is summer salsa. It's a little bit hotter with the reds and the corals and the oranges. I have this one. This is lovebird back here, and I love lovebirds, just soft combinations, some pink, some peaches here. And then also I have Hawaiian sunset right next to me. That's a really pretty one too, with the purple and lavender and coral. And I think this one back here, this one's called Best Friends. So the white and the magentas and kind of those darker fuchsias, if you will. So lots of different New Guineas. They come in hanging baskets, they come in smaller quart-sized pots, they come in different combinations and 8-inch. So really wherever you want to place them in the garden, in the soil beds, or, you know, just on a patio table, hanging from the porch, they all work really, really nicely. Enjoy.